Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fatback 4 Daily for this Tuesday night. Liverpool have been beaten in the League Cup by Aston Villa, but in fairness, let's be honest, the youngsters done everyone proud with their performance. Tonight's show was brought to you by Paddy Power. A bookie's a website and an app. If you gamble, please gamble responsibly and try do so with Paddy Power. Tonight with me, I will have Peter Smith, and we will go and look and reflect on that game tonight. We will also look ahead to the Club World Cup and have a little look over the festive period and what we feel Liverpool can do over that run of 4 or 5 games, whatever it is. But yeah, let's go. Let's see how we get on. And here we go, the Fatback 4 Daily for Tuesday night. And Peter, you're with me tonight, and Liverpool have been beaten by Aston Villa in the League Cup. No real surprise, but you know what? I have to give the lads a lot of credit. They came out there tonight. They've had more shots than Villa. They've had more shots on target, more passes completed, more possession. It wasn't a 5-0 game, in my opinion, but they done themselves proud, didn't they, overall?
Well, look, first of all, it is a 5-0 game because at professional level, you turn blind into around corners, things that you can do at academy level. You do that in a first team game, you get punished. I mean, Liverpool's deep line midfielders tonight and their centre halves made 3 or 4 mistakes, got punished for them all. But on the positive side, going forward, I mean, there was times when Villa couldn't get near the ball. It was a strange game. But it says a lot about the modern game as well. You know, a lot of teams are geared to not having the ball, but spring load you. Wait until you make that mistake, turn you over, and pop you on the break. And that happened 4 times tonight, 2 or 3 times too many. But yeah, the kids look sharp. Kids look good. A couple of them have a future. A couple of them you can see, will be at the club. Probably won't go any further. But there's 1 or 2 there, and the obvious 2, Kehoe over and Elliott, could play for the first team tomorrow.
Yeah, it was such a young squad. It's the youngest side Liverpool have ever put out. Somebody said, love that at the end, by the way, and we will get to that. We go through the game as we go, but very good point there. Megan McCallion says, Harvey Elliott looks a class act, big future ahead. He absolutely does. And Max again says, hats off to the away support, back the kids all the way. Yeah, look, going back to it, and just before we get into the game, what's your feelings on this, Peter? Because Klopp did put out a warning about this when we went through against Arsenal, the World Club Cup. They're obligated to go there. They moved the game forward 1 day for Liverpool. What's your feelings on this? I know it's a great experience for the young lads there tonight, but did Liverpool acting the wrong way by doing this?
No, not at all.
What's your feelings on it?
To be honest, you're supposed to. I mean, with big competitions, with big competitions like the one that we're at, with the FA are trying to get the big English club, which is Liverpool at the moment, to go and represent the country. You're supposed to accommodate that club, and they failed to do so. So, I mean, I think Klopp's first choice was to get himself knocked out by the Arsenal. That didn't materialise. How bad they are. Yeah. And second choice was to try and pull the fixture. I think he wanted to give a walkover, which is unprecedented, obviously, at this level. And this was his reaction. Not one. I mean, there's a lot of lads talking. I think we were talking about maybe 6 or 7 of the first team would go with one squad and the rest would go with the other. No, he made a statement saying, "No, I don't want to be here. It's not my fixture." And he kept making, his language clear. This is not our fixture. We will be watching. We will be at a distance. It's annoying. You see a lot of opposing fans. Look, we're rent-free in lads' heads, so they're all over Twitter now enjoying their evening in the sun because a bunch of 18. I mean, I think there was one 15-year-old came on with 20 minutes to go. We're beaten by an experienced senior team. Enjoy it, lads. Because you won't be seeing it again for another 25 years, to be honest.
Yeah, it's one of those where, as I said, it's the youngest ever Liverpool side to be put out. Look, I enjoy. I'm not being. I know they're beating 5-0, but I enjoyed it. There's plenty of people there saying, like Kev says, there's probably 8 of them are going to have Premier League careers. I'd like you to name the 8, Kev. To be honest with you, it's because we can overreact at times from young players' performances. But having saying that, they are only 17, 18, 19 years of age. There's plenty of progression left there. Lallana not Lallana himself, but the user Lallana says Elliott will be a first team player within 2 years. I think it'll be earlier than that. Chris Prost says Hoover, Elliott, Chiravella were outstanding tonight. I liked Hoover. I liked Chiravella. I just thought Elliott was a class act. Traz says Adam Milner, Origi, Lallana, maybe Oxen a centre back to that side tonight, and I think we would have beat them. I don't think you're wrong there. Nordred says the FA just don't help Liverpool. It's a fact. We will slap them in April and they will go down, says Antico. That's what I want. I want them to be absolutely bashed in the next round as well. But just looking at it, they started really well. They started so well. They were confident on it. They were quick. They were zipping it around. They were moving Villa side to side. They had a couple of chances. Herbie Kane had one or two. Elliott had one. And I think, something, if we'd have taken one of them and had something to hang on to, it really could have suited us because we weren't afraid to play the ball from back to front quickly.
Goals change games, as everybody knows. But for me, I'll be honest with you, we looked a bit like a super flyweight boxer. Technically superb, all the footwork, but just without that knockout punch. I mean, for me, if Divock Origi, for example, is in that team tonight, he's probably scoring once or twice. You're missing that little bit, and that's the thing. We were making a point the other week. People were asking me about Brewster and why I don't rate him. And this is the reason. I think he's featherweight. You look at a fella like Origi, presence, that ability to shoulder that last man out of your way and open up that goal and put your foot through it. That's the difference between scoring goals at this level in 2017 as it was in the 90s. A couple of those young lads we talked about will probably come on for Liverpool 20 years ago and score 3 or 4 goals. But for me, no, you need, especially, as a centre forward, a top class centre forward, you need to be like an Olympic athlete and a middleweight boxer these days. An Origi in that side tonight, and we're scoring the goal, definitely.
Yeah, PW says Villa did to us in the first 15 what we've been doing to teams for years now, just feeling them out and seeing how to deal with them. There may have been a certain thing to that, but do you know what? We had a couple of really decent chances. Like there was one in the left-hand channel where he blazes over. There's one where Kane gets in behind. It's weak enough and the keeper makes a save. It comes back to Elliott and he hits the side netting with it. We've a couple of corners. So while he may have been feeling us out and seeing what shape we were playing and just getting used to where our players were going to play, because know nothing about them. They were still open and we still got in around them, but look,
here's a show for you, and I don't know if you agree with me, and I was kind of toying with it in my head. You lose a game 5-0 and arguably the opposition's goalkeeper is the best player in the park. How does that happen? Now, a lot of people say to me, shut up, there's a lad that nearly scored 4 goals for Aston Villa. Okay, he'll be man of the match, he scored his hat-trick, but for me, the best player was a goalkeeper. What does that tell you?
No, I was really impressed by us going forward. We were intelligent with the ball for the first 15 anyway. Before the first goal, we were really intelligent with it. We were nicking it off them. We were getting players into little pockets of space. And you could see, do you know what the big thing for me was? The style of play we had, it is being filtered right from the top, right through the club.
And it has to be.
You could see it. You wouldn't have been... not disappointed, but you wouldn't have been shocked if Liverpool went out there, sat 11 men behind the ball and said, look, let's see what we can hold on to, try hit a front man that has a bit of pace, maybe get a fella off him and try get it into him and try make something happen. But they didn't. We came out, we were playing from the back. You could see that this style of football, this confidence in every player is being instilled in players from fucking 10, 11, 12 years of age, right
6
up. Because, well, you look at it, Klopp's there 4 years. There's a lad that come on there tonight, he's 16. So he's had, since 12 years of age, he's been shown what way Klopp wants to play.
Exactly.
So I thought it was massive, but I'm not going to go through all the goals and I'm not going to lay blame on anybody because there's no fucking point.
No, just youthful inexperience, bit of naivety, 30, 40 yards from your own goal, turning blind into fellas. Anyone that's out there and that's online, pays attention to us. There's a lot of coaches that do. They'll tell you, I'm always hammering this, that you can't turn blind, You need to have a full picture. And there's a few lads learning the game. They're turning blind, and the Villa lads picking them off. So listen, these guys are playing at academy level and they're told to express themselves. Do the positive thing, do the right thing. Look for the killer pass all the time. Look for those little 1-2s. Listen, there was a few Ole moments at 4-0 down. So that's academy stuff, and it was nice to see,
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. Like Northred says, fair point. Pierre, their keeper played well. He had a lot hit straight at him. There was a couple where there was one where one lad bashed it at him and it was fairly straight. If there was any kind of movement on that ball or angle on it, it was in the net. And the follow-up header, he probably should have headed it towards the other side of the goal. But like different, I just thought I enjoyed it. Overall, I enjoyed it. Like the goals aside, like you don't enjoy Liverpool conceding goals no matter what level.
No.
But the goals aside, I really enjoyed the way they wanted to play. And you seen Keanu Hoover there had to go off with 15 to go or 10 to go because he was gone. Because the amount of ground that fella covers is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
But I look at him and I tell you, that's a modern player. But then I look at Herbie Kane, and a lot of fans aren't going to like me for this. You can see why Herbie Kane isn't going to make it.
Yes,
I'll be honest. For me, he's a 90s footballer. Lovely skill, lovely feet, nice eye for a pass, but he's very unfit.
Yeah,
he's carrying a little bit of timber. He's actually built like a 27-year-old. For me, you can see why he's going to end up. We're going to ship him out to a hole. Maybe get 3 or 4 million for him if we're lucky. Yeah. I know he set the world on fire at Doncaster in League One. If I'm being fair, Championship, that's probably his level. It's not.
He looks like he's developed too early in his body.
Yeah. He's one of them.
You'll see players that you say he's not really developed in his body. Like you could throw that at Elliot. He's small. He's quite slight, but he still has a bit of strength about him. But Herbie Kane, you're kind of going, and you'd say to yourself, in a couple of years when he builds up, he'd be unbelievable. Whereas Herbie Kane does look like a player that he's developed now. And he's not going to get any more. He's not going to gain any more speed now. He's not going to gain that stamina now. Probably,
I seek him. I can see why he'll be useful. In a decent Championship side. That's where he's going to develop. But you can just see the game is physical now. You can see us in transition when the first team play. Guys like Gini Wijnaldum at the start of the move and nearly at the end of it. Yeah. That's the standard for a midfield player now at Liverpool. And it's a fitness thing as much as it's a mental thing. Kane for me is a throwback to play when players like that were excellent, and he's unlucky. He's probably just missed his window by being born in the wrong year. Not for me.
Yeah, Mark Sproul says Elliot is on his way to being a player. Thought Critchley managed them. He thought Critchley managed them really well and encouraged them to play. There's loads of comments coming in, so I'm trying to keep up. Max says, hopefully they will learn loads from that. There's no doubt. No doubt they will. Kane will be a good player. Will be a good player in Scotland. Nothing wrong with that. Rangers or Celtics, says Kev Sullivan.
Good show. Yeah, good show.
Max again says it could be a pivotal moment for some if you're lucky. I think anybody coming away from that game, like a couple of players. Let's go through them, right? So Kelleher concedes 5, right, for the second game in a row in the League Cup, but made some really good saves off his line really fast. Again, watching him, all right, he's beaten 5 times, 1 or 2 unfortunate. But you could see his development, and you can see where he's trying to get in his career by training with the likes of Alisson Becker and the goalkeeping staff, because he's off his line early, he's quick, he's comfortable with his feet, he's not panicked, he makes some good saves, he pushes stuff away when he gets to them. I thought he did a decent performance, the goalkeeper.
Okay, yeah, none of the goals are really his fault. Needs to get in the gym for me, and that'll come naturally. Needs a bit of bulk. I'd like to see him come out and kill things, to be honest. The sign of a good goalkeeper is, he's coming out knees up, letting centre forwards know, you come into this space, you're going to get hurt. I don't see that in him. Yeah, and he's been in a couple of Ireland squads, so that should be in him, and it's probably coming. I mean, who am I? I'm not a goalkeeping coach. I just know what I don't see. What I do see on the positive side is his lovely feet. He could play that sweeper keeper role, which is what managers like Klopp demand. He needs to be a little more vocal, probably. Yeah, he's a good shot stopper. He's decent reactions. I just want to see more physicality. I mean, Alisson Becker is imposing, and I think you have to be a top level goalkeeper.
Traz says that Kane looks older than Milner.
Harsh. I don't want to start here on poor Herbie Kane. He's you can't help the way you're born, but that's what I see, Gavin. I just see a fella he looks to me like a 35-year-old.
No, he does. And look, I know where you're coming from. You're not trying to bash the lad. He tried all night. He ran all night. He got into some great positions, absolutely brilliant positions when you actually look back on the game. Look, Glenner says, would Elliot benefit from a loan deal next season?
No. Can't let him go.
I wouldn't see that. No, I see him being at a stage where he would benefit most from being like Kelleher, being around the first team squad as much as possible. Drop him in if you possibly can, and
exactly.
then bring him on another tour away in America or Asia or wherever we end up going. For me, it's definitely one where you just you develop him in house.
We don't really do the loan thing in or out. There's one thing people are. I was listening to one of the shows last week, actually, that you were hosting, Gav, and you were talking about what should we do in January, and in my mind, I'm thinking, I'd be springing for a loan. One of the lads was talking about one of the German centre halves that's Hummels. I'm thinking, okay, he's slow, but he's experienced. He won't expect to be long term. But then you think about it, we don't do loans. I mean, we did. I don't know who we borrowed Kolker. And I remember thinking it was a strange thing to do, because we don't do it, and we don't tend to lend out players that really have a future with us. I can't think of many. I know there's a couple of exceptions, and lads will beat me to the punch here on the internet, but we've loaned out a few and brought them back, and they've probably been world stars. But we tend to identify them, keep them, and as you say, get them used to the way we play. And I think we jealously guard them. We want them around our club. Yeah. No, for me, we're not. We've never gotten into that loan with them.
Yeah. No, it's a fair point, because you look at Harry Wilson. He's been loaned, and still you can't tell if he's going to have a future. I don't think he does, but we'll have to wait and see on that one, I suppose. Kev says, my worry for Kelleher is he looks small. Go into League One and develop for a season. Yeah, there may be an argument for that for next season for him, because he's been around this squad. He was around the squad a lot last season and the same this season. So maybe it is he's got himself a style, and they need to pick a side out there that would suit that style, and he can go and, like you say, bulk up, get a bit more experience, his game management a little bit better, probably a little bit more aggression.
That's what you want. I mean, goalkeepers. I grew up playing against lads, and you take one look at them, and you go, I fancy it against him today, or I really don't fancy it against him today. He comes near me, I'll throw shapes and all, and and I won't let on. But God, I'd be terrified he's going to take my head off. That's what you want. Yeah. Top goalkeepers. I mean, you take one look at the lad at Manchester City, and you think he looks like a headbanger, and he's physical, he's fast, he has it all. You don't fancy it. With Kelleher, I think I'd be bearing down and thinking, I'm going to have you all day long. I don't want that in a goalkeeper. I want someone where I'm looking, because this game is split second. If you're the centre forward, it's split second. Goalkeeper's making your mind up for him. Alisson is that. I mean, look at him against Watford. Alisson, in the first few, they must have, I think they 3 or 4 one-on-ones they unlocked us. Yeah. And you could see the Watford, whether it was Sarr or whether it was the Spanish winger, who they didn't fancy it. No, they didn't. They were thinking to themselves, "How am I going to get around this lad?" And that's what you want. I don't see that in Kelleher.
Yeah, like there's still plenty of stuff coming in here. Northred says Klopp will see Elliott night and day at the new academy. Best place for him to get into that first team quicker. That's a great point.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's a great point. Kev says I've not seen Elliott have a mare against anyone. Wouldn't want to see his route blocked. By the time he's 18, 19, I think he's in the match day squad. I said to you before this show, if Liverpool go on to win the league this season and have 4 or 5 games at the end of the season where they can afford to play him, I'd play him every single game.
I think that's a great show.
I genuinely would. I'd just put him in there and go, listen, I'd say for argument's sake, Mane, listen, you've been playing football a long time. You didn't get a break in the summer. Go and take 4 weeks off.
Or Salah, who's
or whoever.
Injury prone,
Listen, we've if we're still in the Champions League, obviously that might be an option. But you could be saying to Mane, I'm just going to play you 30 minutes at the end of every game. I'm going to give this guy a go. And why not? Carl Duff says, have we ever loaned out a player for him to come back and get into the first team squad? Well, Divock Origi is probably the one to think of, but
I mean, it's an exception, a centre forward, either, as Carl testified, which is why he's saying it goes one way or the other. You're either really, you get in there or you don't. I just think players like Danny Ings, the minute they packed their bags, you knew it was game over. It's even before that. If I'm at Liverpool and they're talking to me about a loan, I know it's over. It's over.
Yeah, especially when you get to a certain age, and one loan turns into 2, and 2 loans turn into 3. Let me see. Max asks, has Elliott overtaken Brewster in the pecking order for the first team? I would say he has.
I don't see that Brewster, if I'm honest, has ever been on it. Perhaps the powers that be have seen things that I haven't, and I've watched a few of the games that Bruce has played at underage level on LFC TV, and again, he's a lad that get off the shoulder in the 1990s. Yeah, you're all over him, but in the modern game, where you want a fella that can grab it, shove someone out of the way, good movement, good feet, a bully, and then pace, I don't see it. I just don't see it. Yeah, I don't see him making it. No,
I,
don't see.
I don't. I'd have to see him play a couple of games in a proper force team for me to make a decision on Brewster. I think it's very hard to judge any player when they
He's too
play.
nice, Gav. He's
Well,
too nice.
it's not even that. When they play in games where it's literally that under 23s mates playing in the games with them. It's just an under 23s team. Where if you dropped, like, I've full confidence if you dropped Harvey Elliott into that Liverpool force team and gave him, like, if, say for argument's sake, you went 4-2-3-1, just as a case study, right? If you went 4-2-3-1 and you said to yourself, say for argument's sake, Shaqiri's playing, but with 25 to go, I'm going to take Shaqiri out and put Elliott on.
Yeah.
I'd have every confidence in him because I think he looks like the sort of player that would revel in it.
100%. Confidence is everything.
And I haven't seen enough of Brewster in that, so I'd have to see a little bit more. Chris Pross says Brewster will be gone in January. Werner in, he thinks. Brewster's the little man in a 4-4-2, reckons Kev.
And that's, you see that? That's who said that, because that's the show. 4-4-2, you get your Niall Quinn, that type, up beside him. He's flicking things on, and he's reading that, and he's getting on the end of things 29 times. That's championship level now. Whereas 15, 20 years ago, that was the Prem. Now, like I said to you, I always find with players like Brewster, ask yourself a question. First of all, you like Elliott so much, and so do I. List 5 things that Elliott is great at. I guarantee you'll come back to me with 6 or 7. Low centre of gravity, lovely left foot, great eye for a ball, good creativity. Then I'll say the same thing to you about Brewster. List 3 or 4 things that you think Brewster's great at. You're not putting heading up there. You're not putting pace up there. Okay, finishing. But at Premier League level, how is he getting into position to finish? So I'm just not seeing I'd still like
to see him a couple of times in the force team, a proper force team, to make a proper judgment on him. But just staying on Harvey Elliott, I thought he had a great game. I thought every time we look to create and look to get at Villa, I think he was the outlet all the time. He was looking for the ball. He drifted into centre. He played left. He played right. He was very, very good, wasn't he?
Look, listen. I mean, I can see shades of a young Paul Gascoigne in there. I can see Liam Brady. I can see what Arsenal fans wanted Jack Wilshere to be. He is. You mentioned. Now I know in terms of the low centre of gravity and the left side in this, Leo Messi. I don't see him drifting by players with that kind of ease quite yet. But he's not. I'm
not comparing him to Leo Messi. I'm saying the way he plays and the way he looks to play.
Yeah,
it would remind you a bit of him. I'm not saying it would remind you in a footballing way.
If you're asking me straight up, who would I prefer in our squad, him or let's say Jack Grealish? I'm saying him. Yeah, and all day long. Pound for pound, I'm saying I think he's a better player. Now, that's saying Jack Grealish is 21, maybe 2021.
He's probably a bit more than that.
Elliott is because he was with our 21, maybe he's 20. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And I would prefer the 16. It's a long time since you'll say. And that's the thing. I think we all know players when we see them. He's one, and that key whoever is another one. He's a player.
Whoever is a proper player, look, just getting off the game because we've only a couple of minutes to go. The World Club Cup, we start there tomorrow. Flamengo won today, so they're in the final. We play Monterrey from Mexico tomorrow. It was only a 20-man squad that went. What way do you see him working this out? Do you see him trying to fringe player it a little bit tomorrow and then full squad? He's gonna
be looking at them rules. Can I make 10 substitutions? He's gonna be making them water breaks. It's absolute suicide to be playing football. I don't want to see nobody. No one player will play 90 minutes in either of those games. We'll win both of them, and we'll win both of them handy. English football is at a level far above. That's the one saving grace. Both Mexican football and wherever. I think Saudi Arabia, for the other game. But for me, listen, it's nice, 5 million quid, another trophy, which is always nice, but I don't want to see anybody playing 90 minutes at all. So you're going to see 45 minutes, probably 2 sets of maybe 6-7 changes, and then bleed them on, bleed them off. You don't see anyone playing 90 minutes in that part of the world. No way.
Kev says Flamengo looked cynical and would be horrible to play against. Glenner says, please stop Grealish at the moment over Elliott. At the moment, though.
This is the thing.
He's 24, by the way, Grealish.
Well, there you go. I mean, he's 8 years. There's 8 years between. I mean, these fellas that play Championship Manager. I'm talking about natural attributes. And by the way, people forget Jack Grealish was absolutely terrible at the start of Villa's season. Terrible. Now the last few games where they've it's one of those players where the pressure's off because they haven't picked up the amount of points probably that they wanted to, and he's probably taken centre stage. I'm not buying it from Jack Grealish at all.
Right.
You can have your opinion, mate, but not from me.
So come here before we go. You think we win this World Club Cup between now and Saturday?
Yeah, and another win will be to come back as in nobody with heat exhaustion and nobody injured. You know, you don't want to pick up silly injuries at this stage.
Yeah.
We're down to 2 fit top level centre halves.
Yeah, that's
not where we
the
want to
concern. Yeah. Mark Sproul says worried about injuries against Flamengo, typical South Americans. Yeah, they seem to be quite physical and dropping at any sort of contact they were hitting the ground. That's what I read today. Just looking over the Christmas, then we've Leicester, we away, Wolves at home, Sheffield United at home. What are you looking for out of those three?
At least a point out, Leicester. I want to keep them at arm's length. Listen, I don't see them going around. What will hurt them is they're going to get beaten at Manchester City. Don't care what anyone says, that will hurt them. So draw at them keeps them at arm's length. But realistically, we should be looking to go and beat them. But worst case scenario, we nick a draw there. And yeah, just come through unscathed, maintain that gap for a while. And as you say, we all pay attention to your countdown every week. When that gets to 10, and that's coming soon, that's when we're kind of saying, okay.
All things going well, going into the game against Everton in the FA Cup, we will need 11 wins to win the league. And that'll be on the 2nd of January. We will need 11 wins to win the league.
Yeah, and this is it. You know, you're telling me that we're not capable of taking those 11 wins. Well, maybe not on the bounce, but we will take those 11 wins. There's no doubt. Listen, I said this after the Manchester City game, certainly before the match. If we were to do them, it's done. I can see other sides mentally done. Listen, Leicester fancy the scrap, but are they good enough? I don't see it. It's great to see Brendan getting them play football, but they'll be caught. They were caught in games. They were caught against Norwich at the weekend. They'll be caught in places that we won't. You know.
Yeah, no worries. So you're saying between 7 and 9 points between now and the end of 2019.
Yeah, which is where we said this around the Bournemouth Watford games that we wanted 7. We took 9 from 9, and Everton we took 9 from those 9. We wanted 7. I take 7 again. You know,
Mark Sproul is asking 11 wins out of how many? If we win the next 3, it would be 11 wins out of 18. We can afford to. We could. I said it: 30 wins, 5 draws, 3 defeats,
which would represent our worst run of form in 2.5 years.
Yeah, and if we were to do 95 points, I don't see City or Leicester breaking 90. I'm going to put my hand up and say that. If we do 95, it would be 30 wins, 5 draws. 3 defeats, which means in our last 21 games we can draw 4 and lose 3. Yeah. So we can literally drop points in 33% of our remaining games and phenomenal. Still go and win it. So I'm seeing very confident. Avo says, I've seen Ancelotti buying a pair of Speedos for taking control of Everton at the new ground. Yeah, getting ready for that underwater stadium. But look, that's about it. We just wanted to come on and have a chat about Villa, have a chat about the Club World Cup, and of course about the Christmas period. Peter, thanks a million for joining me.
No worries, brother. No worries. Speak to you soon.
Yeah, of course you will. And listen, everyone for watching, thanks a million. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the like button if you're on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon, and every time we go live, you will get notifications. That's it. That's been the Fatback 4 Daily. I will be back tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Talk to you then. Over and out.